In a world where the financial landscape is constantly shifting, the American middle class often finds itself in a precarious position. The cost of living is increasing across the board. Housing, higher education, healthcare, just to name a few. What used to be considered a stable, comfortable income now barely stretches to cover basic necessities. A generation ago, middle-class families could afford a home, raise kids, save for retirement, and still have enough for the occasional vacation. Today, many are living paycheck to paycheck, struggling to keep up with rising costs, drowning in debt and watching the dream slip further out of reach, caught between the affluence of the wealthy and the financial strains of lower-income households. Many middle-class families are stuck in a silent squeeze. They're not poor, but they're no longer comfortable either. They're battling student loans into their 40s and 50s, juggling medical bills, and sacrificing future security just to stay afloat. And unless major changes are made, the next decade could make things even harder. Here are some things the middle class may no longer be able to afford if current trends continue. Number 1. Retirement. Recent studies have crunched the numbers to show just how much you need to retire comfortably in different states. And let's just say, it's not pocket change. In Florida, a top retirement destination, the annual cost of living sits at roughly $58,396. That means to retire for just 20 years, you'll need to have saved about $736,588. Want to make it 30 years? You're looking at around $1.1 million. Arizona, another favorite for retirees, demands even more. With an annual cost of $63,600, the savings needed climbs to $840,661 for a 20-year retirement. And in California, the numbers stretch further. With an average yearly cost of $78,864, you'd need well over $1.1 million just to cover 2 decades of post-work life. These are just averages, and they're already eye-watering. Now, fast forward 10 or 20 years, if wages remain relatively stagnant and inflation keeps climbing, many middle-class workers will be forced to delay retirement, downgrade their lifestyles, or rely heavily on limited Social Security benefits. The idea of golden years may become a luxury only the wealthy can enjoy. Number 2. Private education for children. Once upon a time, being middle class meant having options. If your local school wasn't up to par, private education was a feasible alternative. But that's quickly changing. Tuition costs for private schools have been steadily rising, far outpacing wage growth. When combined with the rising cost of living, it's no longer just a matter of preference. It's about affordability. For many families, the dream of sending their child to a smaller, more resource-rich private institution may be completely out of the question. And it's not just about tuition. There are uniforms, books, field trips, extracurriculars, and donations. Add all of that to your monthly budget, and suddenly you're not choosing between schools, you're choosing between education and financial stability. If the gap between public and private education continues to widen, private schooling will become the playground of the rich, while the middle class will have no choice but to stick with underfunded public options, even if they know their kids deserve better. Number 3. High-speed internet and premium streaming services. In today's world, internet access isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. Whether it's for remote work, online education, virtual healthcare, or simply staying informed, high-speed internet is as essential as electricity. But like everything else, it's getting more expensive. Add to that the growing number of streaming services. What used to be a cheap alternative to cable has now become a new form of digital nickel and diming. Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, Prime Video, Apple TV, and more, each with its own monthly fee. Before you know it, you're spending over $100 a month just to keep up. For many middle-class families, this digital lifestyle will soon be out of budget. As prices rise, streaming will shift from must-have to nice-to-have, and families may be forced to choose between essential internet access and non-essential entertainment. Number 4. Personal fitness and wellness services. Health is wealth. At least that's how the saying goes, but maintaining it is becoming increasingly expensive. Personalized fitness plans, boutique gyms, yoga studios, massage therapy, wellness retreats, dietitians, these services are booming in popularity, but they come at a high cost. What used to be considered part of a healthy lifestyle is now priced like a luxury experience. For many middle-class individuals, these wellness services may soon be completely unaffordable, and the irony is that skipping them could lead to long-term health problems, which only increase medical costs down the line. What's worse is that mental health services, therapists, counselors, and coaches are following the same pattern. If insurance doesn't cover them or out-of-pocket costs are too steep, people will suffer in silence with no resources to cope. Number 5. Specialized medical treatments. Healthcare is already one of the biggest financial burdens on the middle class, but in the next decade, the gap between what's available and what's affordable is going to widen. Advanced treatments for diseases like cancer, autoimmune disorders, or genetic conditions are improving rapidly, but so are their prices. Even with insurance, co-pays, deductibles, and uncovered treatments can add up to tens of thousands of dollars. Soon the question won't be, is there a cure? But can I afford it? And that's a terrifying place to be. No one should have to choose between their life and their savings, but for many in the middle class, that's exactly where things are headed. Number 6. Organic and specialty foods. There's growing awareness about the importance of nutrition, sustainability, and where our food comes from. But eating healthy is expensive, very expensive. Organic produce, grass-fed meats, plant-based products, and specialty dietary items all come with higher price tags than their processed counterparts, and as demand grows, so does the premium pricing. If current trends continue, a healthy diet may become another form of privilege. Middle-class families may be forced to prioritize calories over quality, choosing what fills the stomach instead of what fuels the body. Number 7. New technology gadgets. Keeping up with technology has always been a challenge, but it's quickly becoming a race the middle class can't win. Smartphones, laptops, tablets, smart home devices, all released with staggering price tags. A flagship phone can cost over $1,000, and that's without accessories or data plans. It's not just about having the latest toy. These devices are central to work, school, and daily life. And as tech companies roll out new models every year, planned obsolescence makes it harder and harder to get by with older devices. For the middle class, upgrading every 2 to 3 years will soon be a financial stretch, if not impossible. Number 8. Comprehensive insurance plans. Insurance is meant to be a safety net, but when the cost of that safety net keeps rising, you're left wondering whether it's worth it. Health insurance, home insurance, car insurance, life insurance, the premiums are climbing, and the more comprehensive the plan, the steeper the cost. For the middle class, this means tough decisions. Do you pay more for coverage you might need or save money and hope for the best? The danger, of course, is that one bad day, a car accident, a medical emergency, a house fire, can wipe out years of savings if you're underinsured. Home ownership. Finally, there's the big one. The American dream, owning a home. But for many, that dream is already slipping away. Real estate prices are skyrocketing, especially in cities. Meanwhile, wages haven't kept pace. Even with good credit and stable income, many middle-class buyers are being priced out of the market. And it's not just the purchase price. There's property tax, insurance, maintenance, and interest. Renting used to be a stepping stone toward home ownership. Now it's becoming a permanent solution, even for those with middle-class salaries. As we look toward the future, the gap between the cost of living and what the middle class can afford is widening. Unless we see systemic changes, like wage growth, affordable healthcare, and investment in public services, the list of unaffordable essentials will only grow longer.